Hello, dear friends, and welcome to our podcast Insight Reading Enlightenment, dedicated to sight reading through the lens of historically informed performance practice.
Through the lens of the fortepiano. Because today we have the fortepiano.
Right.
But a special piano, actually.
Yes, but nevertheless, my name is Darina Blogina.
And I'm Sebastien Mitra.
Hi.
Hi.
So, fortepiano.
Fortepiano.
Tell us about the instrument that we're using today for our recording.
We have a bit of a special instrument. It's not a typical. I think usually people are used to late fortepianos. When you say fortepiano, they think 1790 Mozart pianos and Beethoven Walter. But now we have an instrument, I think, that is modeled after an instrument from the 1720s, maybe even before, by Cristofori. I don't know who made this particular instrument, but it's a nice copy. Yeah, it has a very special sound. No pedals.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to play.
How would you describe your feeling when you had to play this for the first time?
I mean, the keys are really the accidentals. So like the upper keys are very square and quite small. So you really have to pay attention to where you're hitting the note. You can't be too far in, and you can't be too far out of the instrument. So you have to find like the perfect balance. It's a bit like playing a clavichord, actually. Somehow, it's completely different action. It's a real hammered action, like a piano. But in terms of the sound, getting the sound, it's kind of like a clavichord, I think. Yeah.
Interesting. And I'm using the same flute, the
Yep.
same Baroque flute.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
And today we have a piece.
Yep.
It's a sonata in G minor that was attributed to Johann Sebastian Bach. But lately, people discovered
Realized, maybe, I don't know.
Probably, yeah. That actually it was written by Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach.
Mm-hmm.
It's written for obbligato
cembalo.
But in this case, it's fortepiano.
Yeah, we decided.
Yes, I wanted to say a couple of words about the edition that we're using today.
Oopsies.
So, because it's actually very interesting, it's something contrary of what we are usually doing. Like we would go maybe to the library and take some nice editions.
Mm-hmm.
But here we just printed out an old edition from 1954.
Yeah. Actually, even worse, the copyright is from 31.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know.
It's really old.
I know. But, actually for an old edition, it doesn't look terrible. Like what I mean is that there aren't all these, half and half. I'm getting the signal of half and half. But in the sense that they didn't add, well, from what I see, all these crescendi and sort of like these articulations that they think would work. It's actually kind of in line with what an oud should maybe look like.
And actually, it looks like a sonata written by Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach, the later style, even though here I would describe it as his earlier style.
Yeah, definitely.
But it consists of 3 movements and not like it doesn't have anything to do with Johann Sebastian Bach's writing, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
What do you see in your score, Sebastien? Because I have a luxury. I have my
you have a part.
Separate part for the flute.
Thank you, Nagels, for that.
My teacher won't be happy.
No, definitely not. No, I actually own this edition at home, but this exact edition, like the original print of this Nagels Bach thing.
Congrats.
Thanks. I mean, it's not great, I can assure you, but it's not the worst. I see a lot of 16th notes, sort of continuous, which is kind of nice.
Some stability
in our lives, exactly. And I see the bass line is quite simple, actually. It's very simple. And I see these kind of typical figures, these ba-ya, do-ya, da-ya, do-ya, dum, this with the same note on top and these repeated figures. And it kind of reminds me of like concerto movements.
Yes.
A lot of the figuration reminds me of these concerti figures.
Also, I have 12 bars pausa rest. So I assume that you have some kind of an introduction.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
I do have an introduction.
Like a concerto would have an intro.
I have, like, as they call it in jazz, the head. However, I don't actually have. Funny, I don't have the main melody, which kind of reminds me of some concerti that don't have that. The player has some new material that they bring in, almost like a little second theme.
Yes, and actually I see my melody, and it's a very nice gesture. Again, it's a sixth. Anyways, and I think it's a very expressive melodical gesture. And the same, I have a lot of 16 notes, and I see sometimes it's a melody and sometimes it's an accompaniment, so it doesn't really have a melodic line, but I'm just accompanying you, and I'm assuming that you have the main melody at that moment.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it.
Yeah, let's try it out. Tell me.
maybe that's the time to discuss our feelings after this special experience with the fortepiano.
Yeah. It's actually not as easy as I thought it would be.
It's not that easy at all.
It's not very easy. Also, I think for you to play with the instrument is not super easy.
I found that the tuning was a bit different.
Well, it might be just out of tune, actually.
Maybe, but for instance, I have this B flats, long B flats in bar 25, 26, and I have noticed that I was kind of pushing it a bit in order to make it higher, which is with a cembalo. I can't really imagine. It's usually a very high note, and you don't need to like overcompensate in order to reach the intonation. Yeah. So
and also maybe I think the difference with the harpsichord, I think you've also said it to me before we recorded, but it's more like a hug, almost like a carpet of sound.
Yes.
Or something a little more stable. And this goes in line with my feelings about this instrument, is that sometimes you play a note and it actually it's not the result that you expected all the time.
Yes,
so it's a bit
totally.
Unpredictable, I think, to play. And there's a lot of flats, and again, the accidentals are really hard to catch sometimes. Like there's something orchestral about the harpsichord, I think.
And with a fortepiano, it's more gentle and soft.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, how was it for you to read this text?
Actually, interestingly, some of it I think works pretty well, but there were some parts that maybe it's because, if I may say, if we assume that it's some earlier work, I feel like it's not yet super idiomatic. So there's some things that
he breaks the pattern.
He breaks the pattern a little bit, and there's some moments that actually caught me by surprise. It wasn't what I expected.
Yes, actually, I wanted to say about the articulations here, because I didn't trust the edition. I was kind of trying to analyze during the sight reading session.
And I think it's also because I played it on piano. So for some reason, I think if I had it on harpsichord, I would also articulate it a lot differently.
That's interesting. So I was not alone.
No. I was definitely... But I think mine was more like subconscious than I actually thought about it. Let's move on, shall we?
Yes.
So now we have E flat major, Adagio.
Yes, E flat major, and first thing I see, it's the very long notes in my part.
Oh yeah, wow.
How would you describe that genre?
I think it's a pastorale. I think because 9/8, first of all, 9/8, and E flat major. I think 9/8 is for Bach the key of the pastoral. It just like, I don't know why, but this first opening gesture, looking at it, it reminds me a lot of like Weihnachtsoratorium or like the lute. I mean, now we're talking about Johann Sebastian Bach, but the lute suite, this amazing E flat major prelude, it starts with the same this type of rhythm. That's what I think of. And also you have this really long, note above, some sort of like musette type of thing that just can hold the note, and you just keep going. Yeah.
Yes, well, let's see.
Yeah, let's see what it sounds like. So, how did you feel about that?
Well, I felt great.
You felt great.
It is one of my favorite movements, actually, because it's so sweet, so gentle, and I can just listen to my long notes and enjoy and just not be stressed about upcoming faster values or something. I don't know. It's just and it's so natural. Yeah.
I mean, it's quite well constructed and quite interesting. Like, there's some interesting harmonic moments also that are really, really nice.
And the flow of the movement
and the flow,
is
exactly.
so nice.
Yeah.
And for you have this nice accompaniment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's super nice. I feel like I'm like oboe da caccia.
Ooh.
Like, really, it really reminds me of like this feeling of, you know, caccia and bassoons and musette and flute, and I don't know. This is what it reminds me of, and I love these syncopations that I have. It's so fun to play and so beautiful.
But there is also some tension in, for instance, bar 20. We have some modulations to the minor, C minor.
To the minor, definitely, with these minor ninths.
It's very sensitive.
Definitely.
Okay, next movement.
I love
Allegro.
this. I love the look of this already.
Because you have the theme, actually.
Yeah, also.
Finally, you have the subject.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've heard this before also, and I think it's a great movement. It's super energetic.
It is.
Super fun.
It's very dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
And I immediately see this repeating notes in my part, so I will be like a little bird.
And me too, actually.
Yes,
I will also be a little.
Let's see what we can do with
bird.
the piano, with the dynamic of the instrument.
Exciting!
It was quite challenging in terms of finding a proper tempo.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
And also some accidentals, they were unexpected. And again, A flats, my favorite A flats.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great possibility to sight read them and practice them at the same time and predict them.
I mean, yeah, that's great.
And also sometimes it goes very low, the flute part. For instance, this bar 81, where I have this complicated flats and accidentals, and it's very low, actually.
Mm-hmm. And actually, I'm higher than you.
Yeah.
This is great. It's this is really like concerto movement, I think. I love this. I had such a fun time with the piano because I wanted to, I don't know, maybe if we ever rehearsed the piece we would tone it down or something, I don't know. But I wanted to like have some sort of dialogue with you and interrupt you sometimes and play loud when like really
totally
kind of
feel that.
Yeah, like really kind of like over exaggerate sometimes because forte and piano exist in the instrument I'm playing. Actually, I don't know if one can find the manuscript of this piece because I haven't found it, but I don't.
People, please let us know.
If you have some sort of manuscript of this, please let me know.
In G minor, preferably.
In G minor, preferably.
But yeah, you are the king here.
I'm the king here. Yeah, totally. Oh, I love it. I don't know. I think it's really fun to play. I also one problem with this copy that I have is that some of the there's sometimes a little like white square.
Yeah, right.
Over my
missing notes.
there's like missing notes in it, so I had to like kind of fill in the blanks sometimes. Oops. Yeah, that was great.
Well, it was a lot of fun.
It was super fun.
And
thank you.
Thank you very much for listening. See you next week.
Yes.
Yes.
Bye.